to do, since we only have 50-minute class periods, we may have to do all of the scoring tomorrow. So I'm going to go to it. It says, Lord of the Flies. This is LOTF. I've got a new module for you. The Lord of the Flies module, because that's the book we're going to be reading. And we're going to click on the survival game, is what we're going to do today. So we're going to start with the survival. It says survival student. It's a PowerPoint, okay? It says use the recorder's document and the slides to play the game. When everyone has completed their tasks, I will pull up the scoring elements. I didn't include those because I didn't think you needed the opportunity to look at them. Okay, so open the PowerPoint one. Let's see how this does. There we go. All right, so this is an introduction to the Lord of the Flies. So it says, welcome to the Lord of the Flies. You will be competing against another group. Well, for you guys, if I have some with the other students, hopefully we can compete that way. But like my other class, I have at least 20 students in person. They're going to be broken down into groups. So you will be competing against another group to come up with the recipe for surviving a plane wreck on a deserted island. Okay, so you're going to work together to create the best case scenario for survival, safety, and happiness. We will add up your points at the end to establish the winner. Okay, and I will give you the point breakdown after we've completed the activity. So, I actually have that twice. Sorry about that. So what we need to do first is set up our priorities. This is step one. And in the recorder's document, I've got this laid out to fill these things in. You'll have to look at these. The instructions are on here, but there's a place for you to put those things in. So the first thing you're going to have to do, it says, as the oldest students stranded on the island, work together to rank the 5 most important tasks and rank them accordingly, with 1 as the most important. Like, do you need to build a fire? Do you need to find food? Do you need to build a shelter? What are some things that you should do? What are your 5 most important tasks? And put them in the order of importance. Okay, so you'll discuss, you and Kylie can discuss, and if Kaylee joins you, can discuss what your priorities are. All right, what 5 things do you need to do first? Then the second one is leadership. As you well know, a society cannot be created without a leader. Your next important task is to establish leadership. What values does your society prefer? Choose 3 from below and rank them. Then choose a leader among you that will suitably fill this role. Then decide what you will call him or her. Give them a title. Okay, are you going to call them leader, boss, Mr. President, whatever you want to call them. So I've got ambition, assertiveness, charisma, friendliness, integrity, intelligence, physical strength, tenacity. I don't know why these didn't flip the way they were supposed to. Oh, well. Okay, so those are your values in a leader to choose from. Okay, you need to stick to these things. The next step is to assign responsibilities. So you have, now there are only 2 of you. If Kaylee joins, there'll be 3 of you. So at the beginning, it said you will be with 44 other students. Where did it? Oh, I don't have that page. Oh, darn it. Okay. Guys, I'm going to have to, I'll tweak this. I'll fix some things on here and resubmit it. But you're on an island. There are 50 of you total. So if there are only 2 of you, or if Kaylee joins and there are 3 of you, you have 48 or 47 other imaginary students to assign. And on this page, and I'll show you that, it's, you're going to assign certain, and with you guys, you can create, maybe you create 3 other imaginary older students, okay? And they can take charge of the other kids. And you need to assign so many students, one older child to be the leader of that task, and then you need to assign a certain number of the rest of the students to it. And one of my slides is missing from here, so I'll take care of that. Okay? So you have 50 people altogether who need jobs assigned to them. A person can only do one job, all right? So if there are only 2 of you older students in this, you can make up 4 more imaginary students, because I think we're supposed to be in groups of 6, okay? So establish one team leader for each of the 5 tasks from step 1, and then assign them a team of student helpers. Your assigned total should equal 50, okay? So you're gonna imagine that there are 50 of you stranded on the island, and this is important that we have a total of 50, okay? So your other 48 are imaginary, and you're going to assign them tasks. And you look at the task list that you had from before, that you made up first. So take those 5 tasks that you create, and then you're going to assign certain people, a certain number of people to them, okay? The next thing you need to do is establish some law and order. What is a society without rules? Establish a system of government or a chain of command. Then draw up your leadership chart. Create 7 to 10 rules or laws that you and your fellow survivors will have to follow. So you're going to create some rules. What should your rules be? No more than 10, at least 7. And then consequences. So if some of you or those you are leading break any of your rules, how will you ensure that there are consequences or punishments? Do you want others to obey out of fear? How does this work? So step 5 is you're going to tell me what are you going to do to people? How are you going to punish them if they're not following the rules? And then step 6, it's not just survival. Survival requires not only physical survival, but emotional and spiritual survival as well. What things will you do as a group to make sure that all the kids remain hopeful, productive, and in harmony? List and explain 2 to 3 things that you will do, okay? And then to continue step 6, is there anything else? Okay, so you know you will be on this island with all of these people for weeks, possibly months before being rescued. What else do you think needs to be created or established? These could be for safety, comfort, survival, health interests, etc. Have volunteers make up teams or committees to add even more dimension to your new civilization, okay? So you can create, what else do you think? This is a spot for you to say, okay, we haven't talked about this, or I think we should do this. You can add a few more things to this, all right? Questions? I'm going to open up the recorder's document. Maybe that will help. All right. So this is the survival game. It says recorder's page, I guess is what I put. RP. I meant to put RD, but oh well. Wait, come on. Why don't you open? There we go. All right, so you're going to put your group members, and then you're going to list your priorities from step 1. What are those 5 tasks, okay, that you decide need to be done, and put them in order. This has to be done first, then this, then this, then this, then this, okay? Then the second one is leadership. 3 values by rank. Remember I said to pick those 3 values out of the ones that I listed, and then choose a leader. Who's going to be the leader, and what title are you going to give that leader? Then step 3, assign the responsibilities. So I have a place for you. Task 1, it should be the same as up here, okay? And then who's the team leader of that particular task? Like who in your group? And this is where I said because there are just two of you, you can assign some other imaginary older students, okay? And then how many of your younger students are you going to assign? It says number of other students assigned to help. So you're going to put in a number, like are you going to have 10 kids help with this one? Are you going to have 5 help with this task? Are you going to have 15 help with this task? That sort of thing. All right? And you've got a place for 5. And remember, the total needs to add up to 50. Then here's a place for the law and order one. Describe your system of government or chain of command. Okay? Like, for instance, you could have maybe you've decided that the first person is going to be called the president and you have a vice president, okay? And then you have someone underneath him or her, all right? And then list your 7 to 10 rules that you all must follow. And your consequences, list your punishments for breaking the rules. Don't have too many. And then not just survival. List and explain 2 to 3 things you will do, okay? And then there's a spot at the bottom for anything else. List here any other things you think need to be added for your survival and any teams or committees created to accomplish them, okay? So, do you think this is enough to get you started? Do we understand what we need to do? Okay, so you two work together. If you want to go off and chat, if you just want to type in what you think, or if you want to talk to each other, have your mics on, you can do that. I'm going to move this back to my desk, and I am going to fix the slides. Okay. And I'm going to stop recording.